Hi everyone, and welcome to our last podcast, number 5. We're going to be looking at some examples of good questions to ask the interviewer at the end of the interview. And also, we have some interview-ready checklists for you. Things that you can check 1 week before the interview, to 1 day before the interview, and what you need to check actually on the day. I mentioned in the previous podcast about questions you can ask the interviewer at the end of the interview, and this is traditionally what happens. So you're invited to ask questions, and it's always best to prepare at least 2 or 3 questions. And it is also best to avoid questions about money or holiday entitlement at this point. This can wait until after the offer of a job. Here are some examples of some great questions you can ask, and these can also be found in your Getting Interview Ready booklet. So, what would a typical day in this position look like? How will my performance be assessed? What do you expect the ideal candidate to accomplish during the first 3 months? What are the company's biggest challenges at the moment? What are the company's biggest opportunities at the moment? What do you like best about working here? What are the next steps in your hiring process? So there's some really good questions there that you could consider asking. And so now you're counting down to mock interview day, and I've prepared some checklists for you so that you can use them both for your mock interview, but also for any real future interviews that you might have. And I'm going to share them with you now. These will also be found in your Getting Interview Ready booklet. So, really important, the week before, to check your invitation to interview, the letter or email you will have been sent with all the details about the interview. So you'll need to be just checking the time and the date and where it is and login details, that type of thing. It's really, really important that you do that just in case you're unsure of anything and then you've got time to ask the employer. Reread the job description and your application. Look at your notes and focus again on matching your strengths and skills to the job and description, always going back to that. Practice answering your interview questions with those at home and your friends, making notes of the best answers. And if somebody makes a suggestion about a slightly different way to phrase something, or they have sort of a good good suggestions of how you can answer a question, it's definitely worth listening to those as well and maybe making a note of them. I always think it's a good idea as well to prepare what I call my interview file. And inside of that, I'll always have a copy of my CV. I'll have a copy of the application form, details of the interview day, sort of date, time, and I make sure that I put it on my calendar as well. And then any documents that I might need. So, for example, my national insurance number, passport, driving license, birth certificate, or whatever else the employer might request for you to bring. Obviously, that's not as relevant to having your virtual interview, but it's just something that's important for if you do go for a real interview in the future. Also, ensure you have asked 2 people to be your referees. And you'll usually have done this at the application form stage. And then prepare your interview outfit, make sure it's washed and ironed, clean your shoes, etc. Definitely if you're going for a face-to-face interview, but even if you're online, they do suggest that it's definitely worth still getting dressed really smartly so that you feel and look the part. And then either prepare for your journey or check the log-on details if it's a virtual interview or if it's a phone interview, how that's going to work and who will contact who. So 1 day before the interview, Check everything's ready within the checklist that we've just read through. Also, if you're going to a face-to-face interview, make sure that you've got enough money for transport. You've got that all organised. You've got, change for the bus. You know which stop you need to get off at if you're going on the bus. That type of thing. Have a last-minute read-through of your application and notes for your interview answers, and then make sure you have an early night and recheck everything is ready ahead of the big day tomorrow. And then remind yourself of all your skills and strengths and what you bring to the world. And think positively about you. Just as you rest your head on the pillow that night, just know that tomorrow is going to be great, okay? And that it will all go well and you're going to do your best. So actually on the interview day, try and get up early, make sure you have a shower, put on your interview outfit so you're feeling and looking great, you're looking the part. And either make sure that you set off in good time if you're going for a face-to-face interview, or make sure that you're prepared to log on in time, or that your phone is ready. Is it charged? Have you got your login details? Do you know exactly what you need to do? Just make sure you've got it there and ready. Remember just to be respectful and polite to everyone you meet. So if you're going for a face-to-face interview, you're going to be wanting to meet and greet everybody in that employment office and building. You're going to be, smiling and greeting the receptionist and everyone you come across, because it is often practice that interviewers will ask receptionists and other employees that the candidate has come into contact with what they think of the candidate. So, make sure that you're respectful and polite to everyone, just as you would be in everyday life. Remember that the interviewer wants to bring out the best in you, okay? Remember to smile, remember to breathe, and you've got this. Absolutely you have, guys. And I have got some extra resources in your Getting Interview Ready booklet, so please do check that out and look at some videos on YouTube if you need to. There's some great resources there. So we have finally reached the end of the podcast. I really hope that along with all the information that you've received from Mr. Buck and Mrs. Sandhu and from all of us, including the job description, the interview questions, your Getting Interview Ready resources, that these will all help you to prepare and practice. So it's now in your hands. So go and do your best. We know you can do it. So go make yourself and us proud. And I just want to leave you with a quote, and it's by Alexander Graham Bell. And he said, "Before anything else, preparation is the key to success." So go prepare. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Take care and all the best. Bye-bye.